Okay, welcome to the October 5 meeting for the Committee of Adjustments. Roll call to Eva.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Eva Baker. I'm the Acting Secretary Treasurer for the Committee of Adjustment. I will be hosting the meeting and managing participants. Committee members joining us this evening are Member Frank Kinnis, Member Randeep Kumar, Member Dale Vian, Member Steve Pelkman, Member Mike McGuire, Member Brian Derbyshire, and Member Jesse Terpstra, who is also our Chair. Municipal staff in attendance this evening are Jennifer Huff, Director of Building and Planning, Aaron Besch, Planner with the County of Middlesex, and Brianna from the Legal and Legislative Services team. This evening, I would like to acknowledge that we have two individuals in attendance in person this evening, and I don't believe any joining us virtually at this time. Tonight we have one application to be heard by the committee. The chair will introduce the application and provide the applicant and agent an opportunity to speak to the application. The planner will follow with their report. The public will then be invited to comment or ask questions about the application. The chair will then call upon the committee to ask questions and make comments before the chair calls for a vote on the application. Once a decision is made, there is a 20-day appeal period from the date of decision for minor variances and 20 days from date of notice of decision for consents. If anyone wishes to be notified of the decision, you can make a request today or make a written request following this meeting. A few items to note before we begin. We ask that the public state their full name before providing comments. That's everything.
Good, thank you, Eva. First off, I do need an approval for the agenda, so I need a motion for the agenda to be approved and circulated by Frank and Dale, seconds. All in favor? So moved, that passes. Any correction or approval of the minutes from the previous meeting? Any comments on the minutes? Seeing none, I need a recommendation to approve that. Mandeep, and second by Dale. And that's done. Any declaration of pecuniary interest by anyone? Seeing none, we're moving along to our submission. And we have one application for minor variance on 22-456 Troops Road. Do we have anyone in the audience representing that property?
Good evening. My name is Courtney Sinclair. I'm the agent for the applicant, and I have the applicant here with me tonight, Rob Talek.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll have Erin do her report, and if you have any questions or concerns, we're glad to hear it.
Thank you, Chair. So the application before committee this evening, A24-2023, is seeking approval for 3 variances. The first one being to permit a cumulative floor area of all accessory structures of 167 square meters, whereas 148 square meters is permitted given the size of the existing dwelling. Secondly, the permission for a residential accessory structure with a height of 6.1 meters, whereas a maximum height of 4.5 meters is permitted. And finally, to permit a residential accessory structure in the front yard of a rural residential property, whereas accessory structures are limited to locating in the side or rear yards only. So the applicant is proposing to construct an 81 square meter detached garage in the front yard. The property itself is located on the east side of Troops Road, just south of Fern Drive. The property is approximately 1 acre in size with 50 meters of frontage along Troops. The lands are privately serviced and contain an existing single detached dwelling with a 2-car garage and a pool house. As the property is under the 1 hectare in size, it is subject to the municipality's 80% rule for all accessory structures in relation to the ground floor area of the dwelling. So the applicant is requesting a structure of this size for storage accessory to the residential use, as well as storage of agricultural equipment for the adjacent parcel that is also owned by the landowner. The structure is proposed at 6.1 meters in height, which the applicant has indicated is required to accommodate a loft to be used for personal storage. The applicant has also indicated the design of the structure was done to match and complement the roof slope, peak, and height of the existing 2-car garage. Residential accessory structures, including those in the rural area, are permitted in the side or rear yards of a property, meaning no closer to the front lot line than the primary dwelling. So in this case, the applicant is proposing to locate the garage in the front yard to make use of the existing driveway. and to preserve the mature trees and vegetation on the side and rear yard of the property. So I'll just zoom in on my map a little bit here, just for context. So you can see that the existing driveway includes this node out to the side where the applicant is proposing the garage. Maybe that's not quite close enough. There we go. So the structure is also proposed to be, according to the site plan, 22 meters from the front lot line and 0.6 meters from the side lot line, which is what is permitted under our accessory structure provisions. So the application was circulated as per the requirements of the Planning Act. The Director of Engineering and Public Works advised of no concerns. The Director of Building and Planning advised that the garage is proposed in a low-lying area on the property and has recommended that the variance be conditional on the submission of a grading plan which would demonstrate how stormwater will appropriately be managed to the satisfaction of the municipality. I'm not sure if anyone did a site visit or if you can see on like Google Street View, there does appear to be a low-lying area of the property in which likely there is water that travels through that area. So the municipality, we just need to see something that would show how water will move around the structure and won't impact the adjacent property to the south. And as the property is within the buffer area of the 402, the Ministry of Transportation provided no comment as well. And no comments have been received from the public. So I did analyze the variances against the 4 tests of minor variance. I am satisfied that they have been met. My analysis was really based on the fact that the house is going to be significantly taller than the structure. The structure is going to be clad in a similar fashion to the dwelling. It will very much appear to be a detached garage and won't appear to be the primary structure on the property. And be due to vegetation, it won't be, it is somewhat shielded from the adjacent property and from the public right-of-way. So my recommendation this evening is for approval, subject to 2 conditions. The first one being that the proposed accessory building be set back a minimum of 20 meters from the front lot line and in the location provided on the survey plan submitted by the applicant. The reason for the 20 meters is that is what our front yard setback requirement is. So anything exceeding that would be contrary to the front setback. They did propose it at 22 meters, so that is giving them several meters of leeway if they do pour the foundation in the wrong place or some sort of contingency. And finally, condition number 2, that a grading plan be submitted that demonstrates how stormwater will appropriately be managed to the satisfaction of the municipality. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Erin. Any comments from the agent or the owner of the property?
Thank you. Just one comment. The applicant is fully satisfied to provide a grading plan and a grading certificate. The applicant does have some interest in putting a shovel in the ground sooner rather than later and has some concern that getting the grading certificate prior to constructing the building will delay it until next year. The applicant is proposing that they will provide the grading certificate, but in the meantime, they would like to provide an undertaking to provide that after it is built. The applicant, he can attest to this if he wishes, but he owns the adjacent farmland. He has interest to ensure that it is drained properly, and he has all intentions to do this properly.
Okay, thank you for that.
Hi everybody. I start with an apology that I didn't realize I'm the only reason you're all here tonight. And I just wanted to say, like, I've engaged professionals throughout this and done everything properly. My kids tease me, Dad, you never break a rule, you're such a lame duck. I do intend to grade it properly because I have the interest in my basement not flooding or my farm next door not ponding. So I'm gonna do that, and it's the final phase. I understand the grading is just how the dirt and the water's gonna move around. And so my only request today is that if we can make that promise or undertaking to do that and allow us to get the building permit moving and get as you know, contractors are hard to schedule, and I'd really like to get something started this year. But thank you very much, everyone.
Good, thank you. Do I refer that back to you, Jen?
Thank you for the committee. So a grading plan is typically submitted as part of the building permit package. The grading certificate that's being referenced is something that we can certainly get, after the building is completed. At some point thereafter, you would get the submission of the grading certificate to the municipality just to confirm that you've actually graded the property as per the plan that you've submitted with the permit, and then you would get your security back. So certainly the certificate is something that we don't need right away. It's not required as part of the building permit, but the plan itself is part of the building permit package.
Great, thank you. Any questions from committee members? Yes, Brian.
Did he submitted for a building permit? Did he submit the grading, through you to, I'm going to say Director Huff. Did he already submit the grading plan then that you need? No, he has to do that to get going. Okay.
Correct, that would be per the condition of the minor variance.
For the condition of the variance. I go again?
Sure.
Okay. I honestly, when I read it, I thought it was kind of just the way it looks, and I went out there and saw it. I'm not really concerned about his grade because it's him that will pay in the long run. It will be his basement that's full, and I think I don't want to say it's not a great recommendation. I just don't think it has a whole lot of merit with this one in the way that it's his adjacent land and it's his garage that's going to be flooded if he doesn't do it right. So I kind of leave it. If he wants to get, I would leave that cause out, but that's my thought.
Great, thank you. Brian, your comments.
So we can, if we got the undertaking, we could move forward with the building permit. Is that correct? If the committee was okay with that.
That would be correct.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for the clarity. Yes, Mr. Bell.
Through the chair to Director Huff, how often do we get this request to not have a grading plan prior to building? Because I'm just worried about the precedents that it may set for other properties. I understand he wants to get going, and in this case it doesn't seem to really bother anybody else, but I'm just curious what that does to us in the future for properties that it may affect somebody else. And like this is in a rural area, so to me the rules are a little different than an urban area. But if we set a precedent, does that give us a problem in some other place?
Thank you to the committee, committee member Palkman and the rest of the committee. So I think certainly there, for agricultural properties in general, when it comes to grading plans and the requirement for grading plans, it is based on a site-specific basis on, where is the building located relative to the rest of the farm property, right, and the lot lines. So in this case, because of the lay of land and how close it is to the adjacent property, and understanding, yes, it is currently under the ownership of the same owner, that might not always be the case. And so the practice is generally when there's a structure this close to a lot line, even in the rural area, we would ask for some sort of grading to show that there wouldn't be an impact on the adjacent properties.
Okay, thank you, Jen, and back to Steve.
Yes, a follow-up question then. So I mean, if there was anything I was going to take issue with this, it was how close it was to the lot line, because once I heard the neighboring property belongs to him, I was okay with it. But you can't even get a lawnmower in 2 feet of property, so you're already going to be using the next piece of property just to maintain even the grass, if there was grass next to it. So how far away from the property line would you have to be to not provide a grading certificate?
Thank you for the question. So we would confer with the building official, and I wouldn't want to commit to a specific number because it is so site specific. It depends on the lay of the land topography of each parcel. So if we don't have a hard and fast number, we would certainly confer with the chief building official to determine its level of comfort.
Okay, any other questions from committee members? How did we land on this one? Yes, Steve.
Not sure who this is going to. I'm going to guess Director Huff, but I know in some instances in council, we give a general direction that, you know, if the staff are okay with what's proposed, the staff can move forward with it without coming back to committee. So I'm just wondering, is there a way that we could pass a motion that would allow them to potentially move forward if on a site-specific basis that the building official thinks they could be done?
Through the chair to the committee, so we do have a condition that we've used in many other applications where just that stormwater be managed appropriately to the opinion of the, we'd say to the municipality, because then it would be with discussions with the chief building official as well as planners, we would come to the position of whether or not what was done on site is appropriate. So if committee was agreeable to that approach, we could certainly amend the condition and move that forward.
Yes, Steve.
So then the next question is if we put that condition in there, what kind of time frame do you foresee the chief building official being able to go out and do that?
Through the chair, so simply it would be through site inspections. He would review the site at the different inspection timeframes to determine if there was any need to modify the site as the construction progressed. So he could start immediately.
Is the applicant okay with that condition? Sorry, I'll address the applicant through the chair. Sorry, Jesse.
Yes, and thank you for the innovation. If they see at some stage of construction I have to change something, then absolutely, I'm pleased with that suggestion. Thank you. Because I understand that would allow the permit to be issued due haste and we could get down to work.
Right, then I'm prepared to make the motion with that condition in place of the other one, I guess, right? Yes.
Okay, so you're prepared to make that motion, Steve, okay, and seconder to that is Mike. All in favor? And that passes.
From today, the 20-day appeal period will begin. During this time, either the applicant or prescribed public body can appeal the decision made by the committee by making an application to the Ontario Land Tribunal. If no appeal has been made following the 20 days, the minor variance declaration will be issued.
Okay. So that is our only applicant tonight. Any unfinished business for the committee? None? Any inquiries by members? Seeing none? Oh, there's Steve.
So looking at tonight's lot line, I'm gonna bring it up. I know we just changed the amount of space required, right, to the 0.6 meters from, what was it, 1 point?
It was 1 meter.
1.1?
It was just one.
Just one? I get the feeling, like, looking at that, I mean, it seems kind of ridiculous that you have such a large lot and you're putting the building on the lot line, right? And I kind of get it because where the driveway is located. I'm not trying to pick on this application, but I'm just thinking about in the future. It seems to me that we should have a standard of maybe one, but could go to the smaller if there's a requirement of this site to do so. And then maybe on a large scale property like this, we don't get to 2 feet, because like I said, if that property had been owned by somebody else, he's gonna be on it every week, and then what happens is you start encroaching, right? And now people are using it for storage and for other things, and they're not even using their own property, so that's just my thought, that maybe we should look at revising that at some time, even though I know we just changed it. It just seemed to me to be a bit ridiculous.
Okay, take it under advisement. Any other business? No, seeing none. Then the scheduled meetings, our next meeting is November 2nd, 5:30. Then I'm looking for a motion to adjourn the meeting by Frank, supported by Brian, all in favor, and it passes. Thank you, sir.
As fast as he